Figure out who's going to win here at Daytona.
Yeah, I'd love to know who the fans think is going to take the checker flag as these laps wind down. I do want to say, earlier I told fans to tweet pictures of their seat. I've been getting some great photos from around the track. The view from Daytona Rising is beautiful. So fans, thank you for that. And again, if you want to keep tweeting your seat, you can do that using the hashtag AskMRN. And again, let us know who you think is going to be in victory lane. I'll be down there getting all the photos of the race winner and posting them to our Twitter at MRN Radio.
Thanks a lot, Kim. We're at the point of the race where you're starting to kind of look around and see who might go to victory lane. A couple of guys have gotten some good breaks here today, Rusty, like Martin Truex Jr.
Yeah, Martin Truex, if you remember, he had a pit like 10 laps early in the race. We expected everybody could go to like 154 or 5. Martin was in much earlier than that. Come to find out, his crew didn't get the car completely full of fuel. That's the reason he had to do that. Then a caution flag came out, put him back in sync, but it put him behind the cars. Now, one thing that we saw all week long is Truex has got a real fast car. He ran good in the 150s. He's ran good in all the races. He's qualified good. This guy could win this Daytona 500. He's got another shot now.
No question about it. Talking about Martin Truex Jr., who's going to restart ninth as the field forms up on the super stretch heading into turn number 3. You know what, Joe? Let's go back and revisit the storyline at the top of our broadcast, and it had to do with Kurt and Kyle Busch. Not here, not in the seat. They've got 2 replacement drivers in there, Matt Crafton and Regan Smith, and let's get an update on them.
They've been laying back near the back of the pack most of the day, but now when it becomes important, with 19 laps to go, they're in the top 20. Matt Crafton currently driving for Kyle. He's in 16th, and Regan Smith doing a great job, as we expected. Knowing he has a good car, he's right behind him in the 17th spot.
AutoZone.
All right, Junior!
Right now, because the Toyota Camry makes the left-hand turn onto pit road. 19 laps remain in the Daytona 500. The American Ethanol green flag is back in the air. It is a Ford. On the inside, that is Joey Logano. To his outside, it's Jimmy Johnson. Then comes
Let's go, Junior!
Jr. and Denny Hamlin.
Nobody able to get any advantage at all at the drop of the green flag as they dance it off into turn number 1, 2 by 2, all the way back through the pack. Logano on the inside, Johnny inside, Johnson on the outside, Joey by inches, and they bang doors at the exit of 2.
19 laps to go, and hang on to your hat. It's getting ready to get wild here at the World Center of Racing. Cars going through the speedy dry, leaving those contrails in their wake, with Jimmy Johnson up front and a side-by-side battle for second.
Denny Hamlin and Carl Edwards are side-by-side. Jeff Gordon and Kevin Harvick row through side-by-side through the field.
Dale Earnhardt Jr. hit the down button on the elevator. He's gone all the way back to about the 18th spot. He was left in the middle and has fallen way back to the field. He was right up front when they restarted. He's in 15th now, Dave.
Jimmy Johnson all the way to the lead. He leads by about a car length over the side-by-side battle for second. Logano, bottom of the racetrack. Clint Boyer to the outside lane, trying to make the run. Here to the outside lane, trying to make the run.
Talking about Dale Earnhardt Jr. He's
Where's he giving up there?
There's a third lane brewing, and he's right in the middle of it. So is Matt Crafton as up front. Jimmy Johnson looks in his rearview mirror, sees them stacked up double wide and 3 wide in 3.
Going to the outside lane into turn number 3 now, cuts a hard left to the bottom, just ahead of Joey Logano, who is up to second. Hamlin up to third with the back, the outside lane fade.
And rocketing to the front like Rusty Wallace thought. Here comes Martin Truex Jr. blasting by Carl Edwards, going by Kevin Harvick. Martin Truex Jr. has just cracked into the top 5.
Doing it without a ton of drafting help as well, as now arriving on his back bumper is Casey Mears. They run the extreme low line. They are 3 deep, all trying to chase down Jimmy Johnson.
This time Johnson will stay at the top of the racetrack. So will Logano. Logano, though, will take a quick peek to the inside. Johnson throws a mini block. They stay in line. Battle for third. Hamlin to the inside of Boyer.
They are side-by-side into turn number 3, further back, 3 wide with Carl Edwards in the middle. Here comes Casey, Jeff Gordon, all in that pack of traffic.
Yeah, what's different about Carl Edwards being in the middle from what we saw from Dale Earnhardt Jr. a few moments ago, he has some drafting help. Jeff Gordon and Paul Menard there. Although now Carl pulls up in the outside lane, leaves Gordon and Menard in the middle.
Edwards takes it to the high lane. He'll be fifth in the high groove, but the moves are being made down low. Denny Hamlin, he's up to the third spot, looking for drafting help from Martin Truex Jr.
He's that drafting help to get closer to the front. The outside line has the momentum. The outside line has the momentum. The inside line is trying to get organized. It's Hamlin down low. You got Truex behind him. You got Mears. You got Gordon, and behind them, three wide, three rows deep.
Casey Kane to the inside. Paul Menard in the middle. Dale Earnhardt Jr. in the outside lane and continuing to lose more spots.
Make a hole. He will find one place or another. He's been on the bottom of the racetrack. He's been all
Come
the way
on,
up against
Junior.
the outside safer barrier. That's where he is, running right now. To his inside is Carl Edwards.
Carl Edwards is just to his inside lane. Carl is actually in the middle, bottom of the racetrack now. It's Truex, drafting help from Jeff Gordon, drafting help from David Gilliland and Casey King.
Meanwhile, Hamlin now is up to the second position. Hamlin trying to challenge for the runner-up spot with Joey Logano. He's got drafting help from his teammate Carl Edwards. Edwards, though, is in the middle of a three-wide battle.
Kevin Harvick to his outside. Martin Truex Jr. to the bottom. Now Truex going to cut over to the inside. Limited drafting help in that middle lane for Carl Edwards.
Jimmy Johnson has the lead, but Joey Logano's pedaling hard in the outside lane. And down low, nearly three wide, as Denny Hamlin looked for a minute, but they hold their spots. We're down to 14 to go. Jimmy Johnson leads.
Gears will grind, brakes will blow, and sheet metal will tear when NASCAR returns to the tight, testy half-mile of Martinsville Speedway. Feel the rumble of Martinsville Speedway up close, beginning with the NASCAR Camping World Truck Series Kroger 250 on Saturday, March 28th. The laps double, but the excitement triples on Sunday, March 29th, when the NASCAR Sprint Cup Series enters the half-mile of mayhem for the SVP 500. The action-packed short track promises edge-of-your-seat thrills. Tickets are available right now by calling 877-RACE-TICKS or visit martinsvillespeedway.com.
Geico presents Fan Mail to a Pig.
Dear Maxwell, first off, hope you are well. And I am. Seems like all you do is promote Geico's web and app abilities. And while I really enjoyed your last commercial where you talked about how I could take a photo of my VIN number and add it to my account all via my Geico app, I've got to think it doesn't leave you much time for anything else. Do tell. Sincerely, Miranda Morgan. Well, Miranda, thank you for asking. And this Geico spokespig does have time to do other things. For instance, I do love
VIN scanning to add a car. Just a tap away on the Geico app.
Denny Hamlin and Martin Truex Jr. have drafted to the front of the field, and now they're battling for the lead.
Jimmy Johnson, three wide into turn number 3, top side. Hamlin in the middle. Martin Truex Jr. looking for the top spot on the bottom. 3 wide, 5 rows deep off turn 4.
Down to 12 laps to go. 3 wide for the race lead here at Daytona. Across the stripe, virtual photo finish. But it is Martin Truex Jr. who leads over Jimmy Johnson and Denny Hamlin. We're down to the final 12 laps from Daytona International Speedway. This is the Motor Racing Network, the voice of NASCAR.
We're joined now on the guest line by Paul Wolf, who is the crew chief for the number 2 Miller Lite Ford.
This is MRN Motorsports Monday with Woody Kane and Joey Meyer.
Championship crew chief, nationwide Sprint Cup most prompt is the latest award. How do you continue that trend?
Someone's got to make up for the driver. He's least prompt. So as different as we are in personalities, we've been able to have a lot of success together, and hopefully we can find a championship number 2.
MRN Motorsports Monday, every Monday at noon at MRN.com. Your regular weekend pit stop for country music at the speed of sound is at America's Tailgate Party, NASCAR USA. Join host Rob Janner as he cooks up 2 hours of tasty country hits. The grill is sizzling with hot news, features, and reports from the racing hub of North Carolina and straight from the tracks across the country. The race is on, and we've got you covered. Rev up your weekend at America's Tailgate Party, NASCAR USA.
We're closing in on the finish of today's race, and it's time to go. The AutoZone Go Zone is on. And now back to Joe and Jeff.
In the go zone, once again, 3 wide for the lead with 10 to go.
Denny Hamlin has got the bottom of the racetrack. Middle lane belongs to Jimmy Johnson. Top side, it's Joey Logano. They're 3 by 3 by 3 by 3 all the way back to the tail.
It is rush hour time in Daytona Beach, Florida. The entire field is jammed up and jelly tight. Here they come, 3 wide for the lead on the back straightaway. Hamlin to the bottom of Johnson. Now Boyer shoves Logano to the lead.
Joey Logano to the top spot, but only for a moment. Here comes Denny Hamlin back to the inside. Jimmy Johnson in the middle. Still 3 wide for the top spot.
Come on, Junior!
Absolute amazing sight here at Daytona. The season kicks off. They are 3 by 3, as Dave pointed out, all the way back through the field. Denny Hamlin down on the inside. Logano on the outside. Coming up the gun is Jimmy Johnson.
I don't know if they can do this for 10 laps to the finish, but I sure can't wait to find out. 3 deep. Hamlin on the bottom. Johnson in the middle. Logano topside. Nobody with the advantage.
And they're bearing down on the lap car of Ryan Newman, who promptly pulls that Caterpillar. They're bearing down on the lap car of Ryan Newman, who promptly pulls that Caterpillar Chevrolet to the bottom of the racetrack. Johnson now in the middle with a fender out in front. Hamlin, though, rallies back downstairs. Logano will break through and grab the point.
Joey Logano all by himself now at the front of the field. 3 wide for second. Denny Hamlin to the inside of Jimmy Boyer.
And what do you guess Joey Logano is thinking about right now? The power plant.
Safety brake on Blaine's motor? Yeah, same thing on both of them. Same thing, nothing you can do to help that. We'll be fine.
Joey Logano concerned about the engines that went south on the Roush Fenway. His teammates at Team Penske just earlier today, hoping his is going to last for 8 more laps. It's a sour feeling in your stomach, Rusty.
It is a tough feeling right now to have to go through that, but I mean, he's made it this far. I got a feeling this car can squeak it out and make it to the end of this Daytona 500. You got to remember, these drivers all drive different. They shift different. Who knows? Maybe Logano's a little bit easier in the engine.
Well, the problem is when you get out front, you've got nobody drafting with you, and everybody behind you is working and drafting together, and here they come, bearing down on Joe here in Daytona. The final 7 laps, hot on his heels. Denny Hamlin, Clint Boyer, and Jimmy Johnson.
Joey Logano staring into the face of a stampede right now. They are still 3 wide behind him. Denny Hamlin slides under Clint Boyer. He tries to take over the second spot. Then it's Martin Truex Jr. and Jimmy Johnson.
Now it's double wide for second. Here's Hamlin and Boyer wheel to wheel. 3 wide for the number 4 position. Martin Truex Jr. on the bottom. Jimmy Johnson in the middle. Kevin Harvick topside.
3 wide behind them. Casey Kane, Jeff Gordon, Carl Edwards, and it's Paul Menard, Casey Mears, and Greg Biffle. But at the point, it continues to be Joey Logano out front.
Outside lane kicking in. Clint Boyer at the head of that pack trying to make it move. Alongside him as they come to the line, Jimmy Johnson. Casey
for 3rd, 4th, 5th position. That's Casey Kane on the bottom. Johnson still stuck in the middle. Clint Boyer still topside. Front 3. Joey Logano with the lead off turn number 2. Then Hamlin and Truex.
Logano now has a 3-car length lead over Denny Hamlin. And right behind Hamlin, you got Truex. Now, Johnson will break through for 4th, but Kane rumbles out of the pocket. To the inside of Johnson, Kane will go.
And Kane has drafting help from his Hendrick Motorsports teammate in Jeff Gordon, who now slides up into a middle lane. Paul Menard's teammate in Jeff Gordon, who now slides up into a middle lane. Paul Menard now goes to the bottom. Danica Patrick out of straight toward the back of the pack.
Actually, an amazing save by Danica Patrick. She had that car all but through the green flag. The final 5 laps, Joey Logano leading over Denny Hamlin. Martin Truex Jr., they're back in turn 1.
Single file among the top 3. Now double file for 4th and 5th. Casey Kane underneath Jimmy Johnson. He takes a
there!
Truex Jr. for 3rd.
Battle for 3rd to the back straightaway. Kane now is the leader of the inside of the racetrack. Kane has drafting help. Well, now a bold move to the outside of Truex. Here comes Johnson now. Johnson and Truex side by side for 3rd.
Gets a big run into turn number 3, but it stalls out there. Side by side, Jimmy Johnson topside, Martin Truex to the bottom, Casey Mears and Clint Boyer side by side.
Go!
Denny Hamlin 2nd. The scramble on for the 3rd spot. Coming back to the line. Martin Truex Jr. not going to be denied. He gets some drafting help from Casey Kane. Now Kane drops down to the low side of the track.
Tries to go to the inside of Truex. Truex slams the door in his face. Truex to the inside of Boyer. That's the battle for the number 4 spot. At the front, it's Joey Logano. A car length up. There's 1 car in the wall off turn 2.
Double wide, 3 wide from 4th on back. There's Truex now to the inside.
Come on, Junior!
Will grab 3rd. Here's Boyer will step up. He'll go to 4th. Truex and Harvick side by side.
tied for fifth. Harvick topside, Truex to the bottom, then they're 3 wide behind him with Casey Kane, Dale Earnhardt Jr., and Carl Edwards all the way at the top, well behind race leader Joey Logano.
All of these drivers trying to shake out of the pack in order to try to get a run at Joey Logano. Denny Hamlin's got the run. Jimmy Johnson has the run. They go side by side. We got one car spinning at the start-finish line. Now a crash. Justin Allgaier has spun at the start-finish line. Everybody else able to get away. The caution flag is out for the 6th time. Wow, that will slow the field and set us up for a green-white checker from Daytona.
Sometimes it's easy to see a difference, and sometimes it's not. Especially when it comes to motor oil. Valvoline Full Synthetic High Mileage with Max-Life technology actually is different. It's the superior protection of synthetic for cars over 75,000 miles. But don't just believe us. See for yourself at seeadifference.com. Valvoline, 140 years under the hood. Visit AutoZone now and buy 5 quarts of Valvoline and an oil filter starting at $22.99. See store for restrictions and details.
We are pioneers. We are determined to grow, build, and cultivate the life of our dreams. We like our way of living. Who are we? We are Kubota. Now, during our More Power to You sales event, you can get long-term financing as low as 0.99% APR on a feature-loaded standard L-Series tractor.
Visit Kubota.com to find your local Kubota dealer.
A collective breath being taken by everybody here at Daytona as we have slowed the field down. What a run here over the course of the last 25 laps or so. Fighter pilot formation, 3 abreast around the racetrack they were going until what appears as though, and we're not completely sure on this, it may have been an engine that let go for Justin Allgaier. Hard to tell. Then I believe he spun in his own oil. And then we also believe that Ty Dillon, Steve Post, may have gotten into that oil also and got the outside retaining wall.
I'm not sure if it's related to that or not. Dave Moody had mentioned a car in the wall on the lap prior to that, and we believe that is Ty Dillon. Right side damage, there's a right side tire down, and so he got up into the fence, cut a tire down, and right now, crew is back on the wall, going to bring Ty Dillon back down to continue to work on that automobile. Great ride here, his first trip around the Daytona 500, but unfortunately right now they're working on a damaged race car.
And Alex Hayden just reported to us while you were talking, Steve Post, that it was indeed an engine that let go for Justin Allgaier. So that has put us under the caution flag. Now for the 6th time, we're going to go green, white, checker. Up front, Joey Logano and Jimmy Johnson when we put that green flag back in the air. From Daytona International Speedway, this is the Motor Racing Network, the voice of NASCAR.
MRN.com is your home for online streaming of NASCAR races and original MRN Motorsports programs. Home on the road, NASCAR Sprint Cup Series practices and qualifying, Sprint Cup, Xfinity, and Camping World Truck Series races. Online-only programs such as MRN Motorsports Monday, Winged Nation, Straight Line, NASCAR Coast to Coast, Fast Food, and Throwback Thursday, streaming across the country and around the world on MRN.com.
When the smoke settles, the entertainment never stops.
The thing flips 1,000 times, so be it.
On race weekends, your favorite NASCAR personality is an everyday superhero.
You're 3 wide to the bottom, wants the lead.
But when they leave the racetrack, they're just like everyone else.
My wife makes fun of me because I eat grilled chicken.
I'm Susie Armstrong. Join me on a daily journey as we discuss the hot topics and engaging personalities of NASCAR Nation. Ned Jarrett's World of Racing, weekdays on the Motor Racing Network.
Red flag out at the start-finish line while cleanup begins right in the tri-oval, right at the start-finish line, and all the way down to where Justin Allgaier finally came to rest just about the end of pit road there or so, Joe. So rather than having these teams drive through what could be debris, they stopped them, and now we'll clean it up and get ready to run these final couple of laps.
So, Rusty, you're in a situation like this. We've put the red flag out. You're sitting in the car. You're thinking all the scenarios. What I've seen so far, what I might do in case that happens, in case the other happens, it's got to be mind-boggling.
It's very mind-boggling, but as a driver, I'm happy they put the red flag out right now because you got to remember, Joe, these guys have been out there on the same, while this track was cleaned up, this was the right call out of NASCAR to go ahead and throw this red flag right now. Now everybody's got enough fuel to make it to the end of this race. They got a clean racetrack to get the track cleaned up. I like this call. As a driver, I'm feeling much, much better about this.
Right now, Joey Logano and Jimmy Johnson. Those are the top two cars, and, boy, you got to wonder what's going through their mind at this particular point.
Well, we heard the audio a few moments ago when Joey was asking about what happened to the other Ford engines. And so he's probably thinking about that still. Jimmy Johnson feeling pretty good about his chances here. Jimmy Johnson feeling pretty good about his chances here.
Doing a good job, bud. Doing a good job. Gonna have a green, white checker finish again. 10-4. It's just a good race, boys. We got a great car. Got a great shot at this.
Got a great car, great shot at it. He's shown us that all day long, Rusty.
It really has. I mean, you look at the cars that have been up front all day long and shown a lot of horsepower. You look at Joey Logano, who's been able to lead this thing. He's got power. Jimmy Johnson just strong throughout the day. One guy that kind of got shuffled a little bit, Dale Earnhardt Jr., he showed us a lot of speed. But one car we've been talking about a lot all day long is Martin Truex Jr. That particular car looks like he's got enough power to get himself out front and stay out front. Don't count out Junior because he's proved to us all week long. Martin Truex, I'm talking about. This guy has got enough power by himself to get back up to the front.
Quick look at the top 10 under the red flag. Joey Logano and Jimmy Johnson, 1, 2. Denny Hamlin, Martin Truex Jr., 3 and 4. Clint Boyer, 5th. Kevin Harvick under the red flag with 2 to go is 6th. Casey Jeff Gordon, 9th. How about Casey Mears running in the 10th position with only a couple of laps to go?
Having a real good showing here this afternoon at Daytona. Joey Logano, the race leader. Mr. Kelly, I'm sure this caution was the last thing in the world he wanted to see.
Absolutely. Let's talk to Todd Gordon. Todd, I know you didn't want to see this caution flag, but you got to be pleased about this race car, what your driver's doing. So how do you feel about this green, white checker?
It's a good opportunity here. I think car's got a lot of speed. Joey's done an awesome job, and Tad Boyd up there at the spotter stand's been helping him drive it through it. Drove forward here. The 15's been awesome, giving us push, and we'll see where this last green, white checker takes us.
With the green, white checker, do you have enough fuel to go to the end for at least 1 or 2 green, white checkers?
Yeah, we're good. We're good on fuel.
All right, a little bit of radio communication. He was asking about what happened to Brad and Ryan's car. Everything seemed to be okay from what he's feeling?
Everything in our car's been fine.
I asked the thoughts of Todd Gordon. He's the crew chief for the leader.
Joey Logano, the leader. In that Ford for Roger Penske, who's above us on the spotter stand looking down over the Daytona way. Kim, a few moments ago, you put the question out to everybody who they thought might win the Daytona 500. You've had a chance to take a look at that and evaluate it. What are they saying?
A lot of people think it's going to be Joey Logano. There were also some camps that thought Denny Hamlin, and obviously a fan favorite, even though he was shuffled a little farther back, is Dale Earnhardt Jr. So we'll have to wait and see. But the energy in victory lane is just starting to buzz. We've got fans looking over down at Gatorade Victory Lane. That Harvey J. Earl Trophy is shining in the sun. One of those drivers is going to take it home at the checkered flag. So we're going to have to wait and see.
Yeah, we'll have to wait and see for number 1 until they clean up the racetrack here. Number 2, when we get back under the green flag and go for this green, white checkered finish here this afternoon. Now, our in-race reporter today is Austin Dillon. He's in pretty good condition right now in that Dow Chevrolet, sitting in the 12th position. Austin, it's Joe Moore at Motor Racing Network alongside Rusty Wallace here. What do you think? Can you get it done, man?
Gonna give it all we got. We got a couple ECR teammates around here. Their team's been working good. How about that? The fans gotta love that, man. I was backsteered through going about 200 miles an hour. That was
Austin, Rusty Wallace here. This restart is going to be really crucial. You think the top lane or the bottom lane is going to be better for your car in this restart, once you clear everybody?
I think I'd like to get up. I'm starting on the bottom at 13. See what everybody does here pit-wise. But I think if we get the middle of the top, it'd be better.
All right, buddy. You have a great race today. A couple laps to go. It's going to be exciting.
Thanks, guys.
Man, good luck to you. That is Austin Dillon, our in-car communications provided by Racing Electronics. Online at racingelectronics.com.
Let's dive further into a comment that he just made. Austin Dillon saying, depending on what those in front of me elect to do, would they possibly, Winston Kelly, come to pit road?
I don't think so. I think everybody that's got track position is not going to want to give it up. We saw how when they got 3 wide that it was so hard to make progress. Dale Earnhardt Jr. got stuck back. He finally made some progress. So I don't expect to see anybody that's at least in the top 15 or so to come down pit road. You might see some guys that are outside the top 15 that don't figure they have anything to lose to come down pit road, but I don't see any of the guys up front giving up track position.
All right, the red flag is being withdrawn. The yellow flag is back out. And one of the names we've mentioned a number of times today, one of the very fast cars out there, Martin Truex Jr. Steve Post, what are they thinking here?
Well, his crew chief is Cole Pern. First time on the for a point race on the pit box. Cole, pretty fast race car. What are your thoughts as far as your chances as we wind this thing up here?
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be interesting for sure. I'm just happy to be able to get back up there. We've had a couple mistakes today, and Martin's done a heck of a job and been doing a good job as far as picking the right lanes. I don't know. I mean, we're going to restart on the bottom right here, which I think is a good thing. It seems like if anything coming down the checker, that's where you want to be. So it's just going to be a matter of how it all shakes out, but he's doing good.
Is there anything you as a crew chief can tell him, or is it this all in Martin's hand and you're just a spectator at this point?
Yeah, we're pretty much stepped out at this point and, put it in his hands, and we got good faith in that.
Good faith indeed. That's Cole Pern down here. A lot of you been following Martin Truex, of course, his longtime girlfriend, Sherry Follis, battling cancer. She's down here on the pit box, and just a lot of excitement, a lot of really cool things going on here. Hey, really just like the fact that Martin Truex Jr. is running up front, but while you're running up front, you might as well go win the Daytona 500. We'll see what happens here on this green-white checker.
It's going to be very, very interesting, these final laps here to determine who wins the Daytona 500. Whoever it turns out to be, you'll have a chance to talk with them on the Motor Racing Network on Monday at 1 p.m. Eastern. The number is 1-800-2-NASCAR. You can also tweet your question at MRN Radio using the hashtag AskMRN. The interview will be played back on NASCAR Live Tuesday night, 7 p.m. Eastern. You can talk one-on-one with the Daytona 500 champion on the Motor Racing Network.
Perhaps the biggest choice Joey Logano has ever had to make. He will to either restart on the bottom or on the top. He's the only driver that can do that. Otherwise, odd numbers on the restart, 3, 5, 7, etc. Will restart down on the inside, 2, 4, 6, electing or having to start on the outside. They have no choice, Rusty. The only one who does is Joey Logano. If they had a choice, if you had a choice, where would you want to be as you're coming back to wrap up the 500?
Jeff, for me, I'd have to start on the top side of the racetrack. I really do start on the top side of the racetrack. I really do think as these drivers are coming through the gearboxes, getting to the start-finish line, they're not going to be at full song getting down into turn 1. In my opinion, the cars on the bottom of the racetrack could get bogged down. And when those cars are on the top of the track, it's a little bigger, a little freer up there, plane really take off and restarts. I'm only talking turn 1 and 2. Once they get down that back straightaway, different story. So at the start of this race, I want to be on the outside with a fast car behind me.
All right, that's where the momentum is. Obviously shorter around the bottom, but the high speed up on the top side of the banking, that's what we've seen this week here at Daytona. 1 to go signal being displayed as the field works through turns 1 and 2. Let's set it up for you here as we go to green-white checkered overtime in the Daytona 500. 32 green-white checkered overtime in the Daytona 500. 32 cars on the lead lap, actually 34 cars. And here's the way they will restart. Joey Logano and Denny Hamlin, front row. Jimmy Johnson restarts third. Clint Boyer fourth and Martin Truex fifth. Sixth is Kevin Harvick. Seventh, Dale Earnhardt Jr. restarts in eighth. Jeff Gordon ninth, and his buddy Casey Mears is behind him in 10th.
Carl Edwards restarting 11th, 12th to Greg Biffle, 13th to Austin Dillon. Ricky Stenhouse Jr. set to go from 14th, and Kyle Larson 15th. Matt Crafton, what a run today he has had. He is subbing for Kyle Busch. Crafton set to go from 16th. David Gilliland 17th. Paul Menard 18th. Trevor Bayne 19th. And Johnny Sauter from 20th.
A.J. Allmendinger still in the lead lap. He's in 21st. Sam Hornish Jr. is 22nd. Michael Annett 23rd. Reed Sorensen 24th. Eric Almirola 25th.
Junior!
Cole Wade is 26th. David Reagan 27th. Danica Patrick, 28th.
We're ready to
Michael Walker, 29th,
celebration.
and Bobby Labonte is 30th.
And the
Please.
final cars on the lead lap, 31st, Regan Smith, Jamie McMurray, 32nd, Ty Dillon, 33rd. That is the 34 cars on the lead lap, getting ready to settle it. Here in Daytona, the American Ethanol green flag back in the air. Joey Logano, Denny Hamlin, flag race back to turn number 1. On the
Get up there!
quickly, here comes Clint Boyer and Kevin Harvick.
Logano selected the outside lane. It was a great choice. He drives away to the lead. Boyer to second with a trunk full of Harvick, who wants the outside lane to go to third. All the way back to fourth is Denny Hamlin. It's Joey Logano with the lead to the super stretch.
Logano now brings the field to the back straightaway. Clint Boyer lined up right behind him. It's a two-car breakaway. They're side by side for third.
Come on, Junior!
Harvick will get by. Here comes Dale Earnhardt Jr. in fourth. Mears and Hamlin.
Go and go!
Mears to the outside, Denny Hamlin to the bottom. All eyes toward the front of the field. Joey Logano, the race leader. Boyer breaks out of line, trying to take the second spot away.
Racing down to the white flag. One final lap in the Daytona.
Come on!
Joey Logano has the point. Junior crosses over, pulls down in front of Clint Boyer. He moves up to the fourth spot, and he's looking for more.
Dale Earnhardt Jr. is up to third.
Squeeze,
but it's not
squeeze,
enough. It's Joey
squeeze.
Logano, Kevin Harvick, Dale Jr., then Denny Hamlin. They are 3 wide behind him. Off turn 2 for the final time. It's Joey Logano on the point.
Logano brings the field to the bottom of the racetrack. They are crashing mid-pack. One car spins out of control. It's Kyle Larson to the bottom. 4, 5, 6 cars crashing as Joey Logano brings the field back to 3.
He leads into turn number 3. Kevin Harvick, Dale Earnhardt Jr., all single file through turn 4, all behind race leader Joey Logano.
And the caution flag is waving at the start-finish line, and the Daytona 500 is over. And the line taking the captain Roger Penske to victory lane is Joey Logano. Joey Logano has won the 57th running of the Great American Race. He will do so as the caution flag waves at the start-finish line. Kevin Harvick second. Dale Earnhardt Jr. third. Denny Hamlin and Jimmy Johnson round out the top 5.
Let's go to pit road.
And there is one more celebration down here. Todd Gordon, you told us everything was okay with the car. You were right. Congratulations. You're a Daytona 500 winner.
I tell you, this team's done an awesome job just carrying the momentum from last year, and Joey did a phenomenal job. Daytona 500 win. That's a phenomenal feeling.
Does that not sound great? Daytona 500 winner. We're going to victory lane with Todd Gordon and the rest of the Shell Pennzoil crew.
Let's get an update on the back straightaway crash. Mike Bagley?
There were 4 or 5 cars that got together, Joe. Paul Menard was involved, Ricky Stenhouse Jr., Kyle Larson, Reed Sorensen, that is, and Jeff Gordon all got a piece of it. All these cars were beaten and battered. Everybody's left the accident scene except for Kyle Larson, who was about to climb out of his car and take a trip to the infield care center.
Joey Logano wins the Daytona 500. Rusty Wallace, what do you think?
It was an incredible race. I'm glad he chose the top lane. We all thought that would be better up there. He got a good restart. And Roger Penske, I tell you what, so many Indianapolis 500 victories, now multiple Daytona 500 victories. Guy's a real deal. And that engine, I'll tell you what, I know that Joey Logano was going, come on, baby, hold on. Don't blow up on me. But if it's going to blow up, it's probably going to blow up now because he's down there doing big donuts, spinning around. He's got that thing about 10,000 RPM. It was an incredible Daytona 500, guys.
We'll talk to Joey Logano in Gatorade Victory Lane and the rest of the top 5 finishers in the Daytona 500 coming up.
What does it mean to add refreshing Coca-Cola to an ordinary day? It means your family's celebrating the 5th of July. It's turning the living room floor into the best seat in the house. Or spending a weekend losing your voice while finding it. It means sitting down with a delicious Coke and interrupting the interruptions. After all, there are 364 other days that would love some fireworks. So grab a nice cold Coke and make any day a holiday. Coca-Cola, open happiness.
Hi, this is CarFox. You already say, show me the Carfax. But now you can say, show me millions of used cars for sale at the all-new Carfax.com, where now you can search with the power of Carfax. Want cars with no accidents reported? You got them. Used cars that are well-maintained? You can find those too. Even one-owner cars are just a click away. Plus, we're the only site where you get a free Carfax report with every car for sale. So find the cars you want, avoid the ones you don't.